Okay. So thanks everybody that's joining in today, and those of you that maybe are watching this post video. Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Laurel Briggs. I have a marketing, web, and graphic design business located in Jacksonville, Oregon. And I serve, quite a few of the Applegate businesses, predominantly the Applegate Wine Trail has been a client of mine for about 6 years. So I've worked within the area, kind of familiar with some of your needs. So today we're going to, is the very first of a series of 8 webinars that we're going to be conducting every Tuesday, same time. The link is going to stay the same, so whatever you jumped on now, you can use to jump on again. We'll be exploring various marketing concepts and methods to assist your business. And the content that I'm coming up with today is really designed around kind of where we are in the world today. And a lot of these methods will be really applicable to the pandemic, to maybe some of the scenes we're seeing locally in the last week. So the very first topic that we'll be talking about today is how to transition your business into an online world. So one thing I do want to mention, I'm going to go over a lot of topics today, but in the subsequent webinars, we're really going to take a much deeper dive into these elements. So don't expect to capture everything and get going on it necessarily right at this moment, but this is going to be a big, broad overview of what we're going to really go into deeper in subsequent webinars. So in terms of transitioning to an online world, Pew Research reports that about 80% of Americans have made an online purchase, which is actually a bigger number than I thought it might be. And given the current climate, a lot of people have been using online resources a lot more than they ever have before. And actually, with the same research, they're saying that 75% of people are using the digital channels. Those that are using it for the first time plan to continue to use them when things return back to quote unquote normal in the future. So I think what's happening in the world today is actually really causing a shift in the way we do business and how we market. And some of it may go back and other things may be here to stay. So it's a great time to really think through your business model and how you can pivot into the world in which it is today. So I'm going to switch over here and start a PowerPoint so you can kind of follow along with some concepts. And I'll just continue talking throughout here. All right, so can everyone see my screen? You probably can't. Hold on. I need to share it first. All right, here we go. All right, can everyone see that? Great, okay. So this first slide, we're going to talk about embracing the digital way. So if you have a business that you've been running primarily as a brick and mortar type business, and you find the digital version of whatever work it's now is the time to find out how you can transition into the digital world. So there's a lot of questions you can start asking yourself. There may be some things that are impossible to turn online, but there's other things that you could probably position pretty well to actually list online. Some examples of this, local restaurants, as we know, have been really hit hard by the pandemic, and many have transitioned into online delivery services, curbside to-go orders. Panera is an example of one of the big corporate companies, but they've gone as far as actually allowing their customers to order groceries, and they deliver that with their sandwiches if need be. So you're starting to see a lot of the businesses actually offer additional products and or services than they ever had before, given the climate. Other ideas, if you own a boutique, you're starting to see it's a great time to launch an e-commerce store. So if you can't do in-person facials, you can actually sell the products that you would use to sell those to create the facials online. You're seeing a lot of fitness instructors now, trainers, also gyms. If you can't go into the gym and or you have to wear a mask, a lot are offering now the same services completely virtual with Zoom, which is obviously the platform we're using right now. Interior design companies are creating virtual consultations, FaceTime and FaceTime Live. And you can also create within some of those live platforms where you can actually have links to particular products that they're showing you. So we're seeing a lot of interesting ideas come out of this new way of doing things. Another big aspect is real estate agents, and maybe some of you have experienced this, but most are not walking buyers into homes anymore. They're creating a virtual presence. So they're actually doing 3D tours, Facebook Lives, and walkthroughs, and even featuring homes on TikTok, which we'll talk about in subsequent webinars if you're not familiar. And other stores like liquor stores are offering home delivery and doing cocktail making courses online via Zoom, like we are now. So a few more reasons you might consider transitioning some of your business online. So obviously, many of us are dealing with COVID restrictions, where certain businesses are actually either not allowed to have meetings or you're limited in a lot of ways. So obviously that's a good reason to consider going online. And while it's great to have a physical business where customers can actually come in and interact with you, a physical business does have its limitations. You can really only serve the folks that actually can physically come to your place. So by having an online presence, you can actually expand that audience potentially to the world, depending on your particular product or service. And online businesses, you know, they don't take days off. So when you are on vacation, your storefront or your display of services is actually still running for you. And it means you can really make sales potentially 365 days a year. So a little bit of information about how you might consider marketing before and after COVID and the pandemic we're in. So long-term studies have shown, and they've shown this over the course of years, not just through what we're going through right now, is that during uncertain times, the best thing to do is actually increase, not decrease your marketing budget and your marketing effort. It doesn't always have to be dollars and cents, but the effort you're putting towards marketing should almost ramp up during times that like we're going through right now. So the last thing you want to do is when the market does rebound again, is be kind of behind what some of your competition is actually doing. We saw a lot of this in the downturn in 2009 and after. A lot of businesses that stopped marketing, those that kind of were able to keep going really rose to the top when the market changed again. And right now, there is that question sometimes of, should I even be marketing to people? Are they receptive to what I'm offering in this type of climate? And actually it says at least 43% of consumers find it reassuring to hear from brands that they're connected with. And 56% said they like learning how brands are helping their communities during the pandemic. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. So in terms of how exactly do you transition your business online? So one of the first steps is choosing a platform, and this is specifically geared towards your website itself. So there's a lot of different e-commerce and or e-communication platforms out there to make it fairly easy for you. Sifting through those options can be a bit challenging, especially if you've never had a website and or an e-commerce store in the past. So we will be going into a lot more details about that in a subsequent webinar. But know that there are a lot of options out there for you, and some at which you can even set up yourself, and or if you have someone help you, you can manage it yourself. So it's become a lot easier to do that over the last few years. The second thing I just want to point out is that whatever you choose, it really needs to be mobile friendly. Today, shoppers are accessing most of the internet from their smartphones, their tablets. So your website really does need to be mobile friendly, if you have a website and it's not, Google actually is starting to derank a lot of websites in search engine optimization. So that means that when people are searching for your business, if you don't have a mobile friendly site, yours actually won't appear in search results, and or all of your competition will appear above you. So it really is important to have a mobile friendly site. It gives you, the opportunity to interact with your customers. So just because your business is online, this isn't a replacement for your interaction with them. In the website webinar, we'll go into more detail of what this means, but the website and your online presence should really be an extension, an authentic extension of who you are. And so you just don't want to put a bunch of products up on a page. You still need to convey that the essence of who you are and how you serve your customers, and have it speak to them. So another thing to do sort of at this stage is to look at your sales funnel. So that's a little bit of a marketing speak, but there's often a process in which people go to consider obtaining a service or buying a product. So it's just thinking through the decisions and the touch points in which people engage with you or research a particular product. So now that we are transitioning a lot of things to online, that behavior may have changed a bit from what you're used to with your in-person interactions. So we'll talk about that more in the marketing plan next week. But it will behoove you really well to spend some time looking at your target audience and figuring out how what behaviors and what values they have, and how they interact with your product. So I just want to mention there are some other great platforms out today. So instead of creating a website from scratch or your own e-commerce store, there are a lot of existing ones out there. The big ones, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, are Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. There's a lot of benefits of potentially being on these sites. They do a lot of the marketing for you. So buyers in hundreds of thousands are already coming to millions in the case of Amazon are already coming to these sites. So as they're searching for product, your product can appear in there. Etsy is a great resource for anybody that does handmade products in any way. So those are great options. They do obviously take a cut from your product, so you have to price accordingly to that. I do know folks that also have both an Etsy store, say, and a website. So in the About section of Etsy, you can actually put your website information in there so people can actually go to your website and they can choose to interact with you in either space. So there's a lot of options there if you're not ready to jump into a full e-commerce site yourself. So honing in on your message, we'll talk a little more about what that means in today's world. So it's really important to maintain a relationship with your existing clients, especially in this kind of time. So there's a number of options. Many of you have probably received communications from organizations and businesses that you interact with. And it's sort of, I guess, what they're calling a COVID response. You'll see a lot of these on people's websites as a button or somewhere near the top of the page where they're kind of explaining what they're doing in this kind of environment. So one of the messages might be, we have to close for now, but we can't wait to get back to business. So this is just staying in communications with your customers and letting them know that you're wanting to serve them. But we're focused on the health and safety right now. And so that is your top concern. Another statement could be, we're still in operation, but here's some of the changes we're making. This is when you can reach out to them about some of the new services and or methods like curbside delivery that you're offering. And you want to explain to them why you're doing this, and it's out of an effort to keep them safe, and that's a top priority for you and your business. Another might be, here's how we're giving back to the community. So if you're currently closed or even partially open, and you are doing things in the community, this is a great opportunity to tell that message to your customers, especially now more than ever. We're seeing with the wildfires in our area, a lot of businesses are doing some amazing work and contribution already to our area. I saw just this morning one of the local florists, I believe it was a flower shop, put vases of flowers every so often on the path home when they've lifted some of the evacuations. So as people are traveling back to see the status of their homes, they're surrounded by flowers on the way. So there's a lot of really great things out there, and it's, I guess, you always want to think of it coming from a heartfelt or authentic point of view. It's not necessarily doing something to gain the recognition, but just to tell the story of what you're doing. So now it's really time to get creative. They're challenging times. We're all having to adapt and change, but I think we should all really take the time to creatively brainstorm with yourself, with family members or colleagues, and just really figure out how you can adapt and change and provide resources for your customers and the community. So a few tools that we can investigate that will help you transition online. Obviously, we have social media. Social media now more than ever is really become our communication source, our news source in a lot of ways. So it really is the place that we know a lot of people are all the time. They're constantly looking to stay updated. So there's a lot of different channels that you can look at potentially to get right in front of your customer's view. And this is a great place that doesn't really cost you anything unless you participate in some of their ad programs we'll talk about in subsequent webinars. But it's a great place to really stay in touch with folks visually and with very little cost to you. The next one is email marketing. So email marketing has really grown in the last few years. It's people's lists are really considered pretty invaluable to your business. It's a great form of communication, and it's really one that's not controlled by algorithms. So for example, when let's say you have like the wine trail, 3,000 or 4,000 people engaged with your page, when you post something, oftentimes only about 20 to 30% of people will even see your post. And that's due to the Facebook algorithms of how people actually see the posts in their role. But if you have an email list, they're pretty much guaranteed to get that in their inbox. They're not guaranteed to read it, but they are guaranteed to see it. So there is a lot of opportunity there to grow an audience and get your message in front of them. We'll talk more about this in other webinars, but the two big ones right now, I would say, are MailChimp and Constant Contact. MailChimp is a great one to start with. They're actually free if you have 2,000 or less subscribers on your list. So it's a great method to get started with. They offer a lot of templates, so they make it really easy to make sure that your email is designed nicely. And they give you a whole bunch of statistics. So every time you send out an email, it's going to let you know how many people opened it, if you had links in there, how many people clicked on those links. So there's a lot of great options. They also allow you to create multiple lists, so you can have different lists for different things. For example, existing customers, prospective customers. If you have a membership or something like that, if you're doing Zoom videos for your health club or something like that, you can maintain a lot of different lists in there. So it really is kind of an essential business item these days. More tools to communicate virtually. There's really a myriad of so many online tools out there. It really depends upon your specific needs in your industry. And I just wanted to mention, as part of the webinars that series that we're going to be doing, I'll also be able to offer a few hours of individual consultation. So for your specific business, I can always take a look at that and recommend some different tools that might be a good fit for your specific industry. Okay, so some more opportunities to investigate. One is pay-per-click advertising or just online ads in general. If you have immediate it allows immediate attention to your business, especially if you have a brand new website out there. It does take a while for Google to find and index you. So Google Ads can be a way to get your website in front of basically on the first page of Google. People are pretty savvy to the ads, so there's different methods beyond just the display ads that you see that are an option. And then there's a lot of other online ad opportunities with Facebook, Instagram, and also in-content advertising. So you can actually appear on the Mail Tribune or other news sources or other websites that allow it. So we'll be taking a deeper dive into that, but that is a huge aspect of your online presence these days. Another opportunity might be, crazy times call for special offers. So it really is a good time if you have something that you can offer, to get that out into the marketplace, show support for your customers. Also, in the current climate, a lot of people are wanting to support small business and make sure that the businesses they love succeed when we come out of this time. So it is a great time to offer that kind of thing. I saw just this morning that South Stage Cellars, for example, is doing a big case sale, and then so they cut the prices of some of their wine cases in half, and they're going to be donating 25% back to the Fire Victims Fund here in the Valley. So things like that are great ways if you're so able to do that. Other opportunities would be solidifying your local SEO campaign. So, we're all being told to reduce our travel and stay close to home and make only special trips when necessary. So people are looking for more products and services or things to do that are really here locally. So if you really beef up your local SEO, you're going to have advantages from that. We will talk more about what that means if you're unfamiliar with that term, search engine optimization. It's basically, when you search for something, if you go to Google, which is still the largest search engine out there, and you search for something, Google tries to give you the results based on the keywords. And so oftentimes in business, your goal, especially locally, is to be on that first page of listing results. People don't often go past the second or third page. So there's different ways that you can sort of climb up that ladder to be there on top, but we'll talk about that more in subsequent webinars. All right, so discover, see, I covered my screen here. Discover where your customers are online. So this is something that we'll be talking a lot about in the next webinar as well, in your marketing plan. It's really trying to figure out who is your target audience. And once you have that defined, then you can really go out and search where are those customers looking for you? Where do they spend time? Where do they like to play? Where are they looking for references? So depending on exactly who your customer and or customers are, sometimes you have several different segments of a target audience. You can start looking at some of these engines that you might want to be a part of. One that's pretty much universal across the board is that you definitely do recommend that you have a Google My Business page. It's sort of the white pages and yellow pages of the Google search right now. So if you're searching if you type in salon, you're going to get that Google map with a whole bunch of listings on there. And oftentimes Google will find you and actually put you on that map anyway, but you can go in and actually claim that page, and then you can add a lot more information to it. You can load your logo and photos, you can link up to your website, and you can actually put offers and other information on there. and it's all free. So if you haven't claimed your Google My Business page, that's definitely something I recommend doing. Oftentimes I see this all the time, that a business owner goes in to claim their page and somebody else perhaps who have worked for you in the past has owned your page. So there is a process for acquiring a page that's already been claimed by a different user. You often have to be persistent, but it really is worth the effort to make sure that you control that listing. So I'll talk just a little bit about content marketing. We'll do more of this in the social media realm as well. You know, right now Sprout Social claims that 79% of users that are online at all log into Facebook. So that's, you know, pretty much 80% of folks that are internet users are on Facebook, which means that it's most people in some fashion or another. So this is a great information for you to be able to know that, you know, it is the right place for you to spend some of your time and marketing effort on. Content marketing, it's a powerful way for your business to market your business online. You can create shareable content through blog posts, social media posts, images. Videos are really king right now too, really short little videos. And you can reach more people than you ever have before in sort of marketing history. It's also free unless you need to boost or try to get a larger audience from the get-go, but content marketing is really king these days. It's also the success of content marketing is not just about throwing something up there or trying to sell something online. It really is about creating a consistent voice, to have some really beautiful, amazing imagery, whatever you're trying to display, and have a little fun and character with it. That'll slow people's quick move through your feed, and they'll find that they start following you or looking for your posts if you are able to create really engaging content. So content marketing guru Neil Patel says that businesses who focus on content marketing, it's been proven that they generate up to 3 times more leads than people who don't. So essentially this is somebody who's regularly posting good content on social channels. And the best part about this is it really is inexpensive and easy to do as a small business. It just takes effort. So it doesn't matter if you have a Facebook page, if you're not utilizing it, it's really not doing anything for you. And kind of in line with what I was saying before, really the best approach to content marketing, especially right now, is kind of, you know, we're all in this together, you know, speaking person to person, being real and authentic and transparent about your efforts to serve your customers. And let them know how they can support you in return. You know, keep those messages really simple and clear, and continue to make a strong relationship with them. And then you can extend this through email marketing, the newsletters, and really just creating and keeping that trust factor and that engagement with your audience. So now I'm just going to talk about and show you a few different examples of what different businesses are doing in this climate. So just talking through a few more ideas. I know a few of you are involved in, I think, the healthcare industry and telehealth. So we're seeing virtual health is really becoming a big thing through COVID. Before the outbreak, a lot of agencies and systems were talking about doing this, but now they pretty much all are. I know I've done a couple doctor visits completely through Zoom now. There's a lot of advantages to that. I think from what I've seen in the studies, patients are actually liking this system. Obviously, it has a lot of benefits from a safety standpoint, saves you time. And actually, I've noticed in certain cases I actually talk to the doctor longer. So I do feel like there's still that personal connection. So that's really emerged in the last few months. Virtual health. So many people are stationed at home, and digital fitness has really grown. I think there's a lot of information out there about how we really should try and you know, your biggest defense against what's going on right now too is staying healthy. So people are making an effort, I think, to maintain their fitness. And some of the big companies like Beachbody have recorded they're up 200% in their online memberships and subscriptions in the last few months. So there's a lot of ways you can offer virtual classes to your members. I know personally I've been doing Pilates over Zoom, and you don't have the equipment capability, but it still has worked out. And you know, you still feel connected to the things that you've been doing for years. So e-commerce, we've talked a bit about this, but nearly, just to give you some of the numbers, 500,000 brick and mortar locations during the pandemic, it's probably larger now, have had to close on some level. So a lot have been turning to online. In the last year, we've seen retail growth of over $600 billion in online sales, which accounted for 56% of the retail growth last year. And now projections in the next 3 years are set to go up to over 6.5 trillion. So it really is an industry that's not going away anytime soon. Food delivery. So we've seen this a lot with dine-in services really limited. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, they've definitely been a lot bigger part of the market than they ever have before. Some companies are doing their own delivery, but they're doing contactless, you know, leave it at the door services. I know a lot of the local wineries are offering this. They're now a lot more open than they were, but I've talked to a number of them that were closed when we were still in phase 1, and a lot of them maintained, you know, about 75% of their normal revenue just by doing online orders. We helped a few businesses add wine stores to their websites, and folks would just drive up and they'd bring them out to the trunk, and they were able to still keep a lot of their business going by that method, and also by really communicating with their customers and offering those case sales and that kind of thing online. So the last on this list is DIY. You've probably heard that term. If you don't know what it means, it's do it yourself. This is a big content king kind of out there right now. So if you've ever heard of Pinterest, obviously, and then YouTube, if you've ever, you know, you're looking to create something or to fix something, you can pretty much YouTube it, and some kind of professional or semi-professional person out there has made a video. What's great about this is that it offers a way that you're offering the public something, great content, and then they're engaging with you in some manner, and they might go back to you again if they're looking for something in the same type of realm. A good example of how this can return in sales is recently I was looking to have a live edge wooden desk made, and with resin kind of poured in the center. So I found this company out in the Midwest that makes these and has wonderful video tutorials on here's exactly what you need, here's how to do it. So I went through the whole thing, and after looking at all the work and what goes into it, I kind of realized that that's probably not something I'm going to be able to do. And so actually ordered something from him directly. So there's a lot of ways that you can give out great content that may actually turn into a customer. And at the very least, a lot of these folks are offering the equipment or the tools they use to create those items on their website to sell in addition to actually the custom orders you can use. So so the do-it-yourself is definitely a big place to potentially market depending on your particular business. All right, so a few sort of national examples here. This is a restaurant, AKA Kitchen. It's a family-owned business. They're offering pickup service and adult beverages to go, and they've created some fun videos on Facebook about how they're keeping their customers safe. I'll show you that video just here in a second. But so this is their website down here. They really make it easy. They've got the call to order button right there, how to support them during COVID. They added personalization to their to-go orders. Whoops, thank you for supporting small businesses. And they've created these little, these are little graphics that can be used on Facebook or other online sources. It keeps it really easy and simple. You know, here's our takeout menu, click here to order online. A lot of restaurants have transitioned into allowing online orders, which makes it a lot easier for people to do right from their phone. So I'll show you an example of what they created here. This was kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, but it was kind of a fun and creative video.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street life, people. Don't stop believing.
So anyway, kind of silly and fun, but lighthearted, but also showing their customers that they really are making an effort to keep them safe and appreciate their business. So this next one is a cheese shop. He's a gourmet cheese shop, and now they've kind of pivoted to offering other like grocery items, sandwiches, and actually full family meals, because they were realizing they're probably just not going to make it if they continue selling only cheese. So they do some really great videos, which I'll show you here in a second. They post their specials daily, which if you're a restaurant, that's definitely something that's perfect for social media. A Friday announcement, they do Friday dinners to go every Friday, and also curbside pickup, and you know, showing the owner in front of his restaurant, "We are open," kind of reinforces that message. And here's an example of one of the videos that they've done. So it's just really short and sweet. It's sort of that 10-second concept of a video. And this one is pretty well done, but you can actually accomplish something really similar just on your iPhone. But people love to see the product and the making of it. So they've done a good job at that. So this is a boutique retail shop, Revolutionary Concord. And I guess Marie, who's the owner there, she was really known for that personalized service. So people would come in and she was like the personal shopper. So what she had done is switched to using Facebook Live. And if you're unfamiliar with that, Facebook does offer the opportunity for you to basically click a button and essentially go on video live on your page. So she would do these virtual shopping experiences, and then she would have her customers call into FaceTime and walk. And so she would walk through the store and she would show the items and talk to her customers that way. And then when the order was completed, she would either deliver it to them directly or offer the no-touch pickup. So two more examples here. These are through Constant Contact, but I thought they talk kind of widely about how they've transitioned online. So this is the Energy Bar.
Hi, I'm Juliana Curtis, owner of the Energy Bar Studios. When the coronavirus pandemic hit our area, our business operations were immediately and tremendously impacted. We are operating and delivering services that we are proud of directly to the homes of people that we care about so much. Very quickly, we were able to pivot from offering classes almost entirely in studio to now entirely online. We've been able to use Constant Contact to communicate with our people every step of the way about the actions that we've taken and the actions that we'll continue to take during this time. We're proud to be able to bring these services to the homes of our people, and we plan to continue to evolve with these times there's one thing that I can say to our clients right now: thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. And thank you for using our services to take care of yourself.
So she did a really nice job of kind of bringing in a lot of those messages that I was talking about. She pivoted quickly, was able to offer very similar services, and really thanks and appreciates her customers for sticking with her, but also for looking after their own health. So she did a nice job of bringing that together. So here's a little clip from a real estate agent.
Oh, my name is Anthony George with Remax Index in Waco, Texas. In real estate, we have gone from in-person showings to doing kind of what I am today. Videotaping homes, walking around, talking about the features and what we see. We've had to scrap a lot of our one-on-one time. We've shifted a lot more online signings, online closings, email. I've come up with a weekly email campaign just to stay in contact with all of my people. Try to connect more on a personal level with my customers instead of just trying to always be on market, always be on point. More of, hey, we're struggling with this just like you are. If I'd have any piece of advice to give my other small business owners, be adaptive. Understand that everyone else is going through the same thing that we're going through. This is a tough time for all of us. But as long as we stay focused and keep people first, I think we'll get through this a lot better.
All right, so just moving on to some last points here. So just recognizing that there are going to be challenges. Going online, may supplement your in-person business, but it's not saying that it's a replacement for that. Some of your customers may feel the need to still feel the products before purchasing. And there's different ways that you might be able to accomplish that, but just wanted to point out that this is not 100% replacement for what you do. The new normal that we're in right now is probably going to last a while though. So like they were saying, it really is important to consider pivoting as much as we can and being adaptable to change. And like I mentioned at the beginning, things are probably not going to go exactly back the way they were before COVID. We know that our lives have changed, and the way that people interact and engage and consume are changing, and probably will be different for many times to come. But another point too is that there's never been a better time to try and fail. A lot of the ideas that we all may be coming up with may or may not work. So now is really the time to experiment, to try and launch those ideas with minimal investment, and then focus on the results. Did this work? Did it not work? What could I do better? And learn and improve each time that you try. So knowing that not everything will work out the first time, and that's okay. We're probably going to fail at some of our marketing efforts because nobody has a playbook for the way things have become. So it may take multiple efforts, but I do believe there's ways to make almost any business continue to thrive. So our next steps, succeeding in the digital age. So we've talked quite a bit about what e-commerce is, how it's about listening to your users and connecting your users online. It's easier than ever now with the tools that we have available to us to transition our business online. But once you're there, once you have an online presence, the next steps are really how you're going to be seen. So simply making a website that customers can purchase from isn't going to get you the results right off the bat. You're going to need to put into place a customer acquisition strategy. So essentially a marketing plan effort of how you're going to communicate your message to the world. And a lot of that will include email marketing campaigns, social media, possibly paid per click or paid media, also perhaps some public relations and content marketing to guide your new customers to your store and to you. So next week, we'll be discussing really the nitty-gritty of how you can start to write your own marketing plan for your business. And that'll include the beginning is a lot of research and honing in on who your competitors are, who your ideal client is, how many of those clients exist in our marketplace, where they where they shop, where they like to hang out, and then driving into the details of the tools of each one of those strategies that I'd mentioned before, websites, social media, pay-per-click, etc. And then towards the end, you can start building out a budget and a timeline for implementing some of those strategies. So that's it for my part. We do have Elena, did I say that right? Here from the Jackson County Public Libraries, and she is able to point you in some resources that you might have available from there.
Yeah, could I borrow screen sharing?
Yes, do I need to grant that? Let's see. Okay, you might be able to do it now.
Okay, awesome. So I am going to show you a few things. We're going to start at the library website so I can show you how to navigate that. Here we go. And one of the first things that I want to show you is under research. You can find everything under business and investment right here. So I'm going to click on that. That is an old picture of me, so of course I look quite different these days. In any case, this is a link to a lot of the resources available to you. These are some books that may be of use, just examples. If you would like to know exactly what the library can do for you specifically, I can always do a Zoom appointment and talk to you about all of the resources that meet the needs that you have individually. So another thing is under databases. So we're going to see a list here, and that may seem overwhelming. So keep in mind that you have a few searching options. You can go under subjects and look for business. There are 9 items there. So some of the most popular resources are A to Z databases. That is where you can look up the businesses that exist nationally and locally and see all of their demographics. It honestly may need some updating at this point, and that will happen over the next few months. So another tool that I really wanted to show you that's going to match a lot of what we heard about today is Udemy. So that's right here. And it's going to ask me to sign in. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so then from here you can see you could search for what you want or choose a category. There is a second step to log in. I'm going to go with sign in through Google. Choose me. Okay. Okay, so if you wanted to learn about social media marketing, we'll see what comes up there. Okay, so you have access to courses that are going to teach you about social media marketing at your own pace. And you can sign up. You just need to register and begin working through the all of the workshops at your own pace. I also wanted to share that the library has a YouTube channel, and it is JCLS Beyond. So we'll go here. So any program that you may have seen the library offered is also going to be here. So Google Drive, Basics, and Advanced Tools, as well as Collaboration. And then you'll see right over here, Resilient Reads is one of our series, so you can learn from other business owners and entrepreneurs about what they're doing and what they have to offer as far as community shared information on what their strategies are for getting through COVID. Also, we have a Facebook page, and you can keep up with everything that the library is doing. We have things within and beyond business. So if you have a family as well, you can see everything that we're doing. If you prefer to look at Instagram, that's us. See all of the amazing things that we have to offer through social media. So I want to thank you so much for your time, and please let me know if you would like to book an appointment. I am more than happy to show you everything that is available to you. There is more than what I have shared here. So I'll stop my screen share.
Thanks, Alana. That's great. So I know there's just a few of you on the call, but we've got a few minutes left. If you want to, if anybody has any specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of those you might have at this time. Okay.
Maybe make sure people know they can unmute themselves.
Okay, nice. All right, I'm just reading the Zoom chat. Were you able to hear the audio okay, or it sounds like it was going in and out?
I think I have an unstable internet connection, so I don't know if that's a shared experience or if it's just me.
Yeah, the audio was going in and out a little bit on it. None of the videos worked for me.
Oh, okay.
But it was a great presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can send, I can actually, what I'll do is I'll post the PowerPoint presentation along with the video, so you all can reference that and just click directly on those links if you'd like to look at them later. Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody has any specific questions, then I think we'll just wrap up and look forward to having you all back next week if you're available.
Can I just say, just before we leave, I just wanted to make sure, probably everybody knows this, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that this is part of a grant that we received, and really appreciate Laurel's support in putting this together, and Alana with her help. And we also have other supports. If you need support that's not included here, just let us know. And we have a little bit of funding that we could help out if there's something that we're not addressing that you need us to address. So you can let me know at seth@agreaterapplegate.org, or just reach us at info@agreaterapplegate.org.
Great, thank you. All right, well, thank you all. Appreciate you coming on today. Bye.